It's been nearly 3 years since Microsoft first revealed its original Surface tablet, and let's just say it hasn't been a smash hit. The original Surface RT suffered from performance issues, the Surface 2 improved it, but you still couldn't really use it on your lap. And sure, the Surface Pro line has been much better, but it's also expensive. So Microsoft's Surface 3 aims to fix all of that. It runs real Windows, not RT, it's smaller, but most of all, it's the right price at $499. The Surface 3 starts with a 10.8-inch display running at 1920 by 1280, which gives it the same 3:2 aspect ratio as the Surface Pro 3. That slight change makes portrait mode a little more usable and a little less clunky, but it doesn't change the fact that the Surface still isn't really designed to be a pure tablet. Microsoft is selling a type cover for $129.99, and you really need it if you want to get the most out of the Surface 3. Without it, you're left with a tablet and a severe lack of quality apps in the Windows Store. But with it, you can use it as a real PC with traditional apps that aren't as touch-friendly. The basic hardware design hasn't changed much from the Surface 2, but the best change is the adjustable hinge because now the Surface 3 has 3 modes. It's not fully adjustable like the Pro 3, but Microsoft says it would cost too much to put in a better one. The Surface 3 hinge works well enough, with angles that accommodate most situations. Good enough isn't great, though. It's still awkward to use at times. And honestly, I don't know why I sat like this. The new type cover does have some cleverly placed magnets that snap onto the screen to make things a little more sturdy. It's backlit and it has a full keyboard, but the trackpad is still a little too small. You can also buy a stylus for $49.99. It's one of the more unique aspects of the Surface, and it works just as well here as it does on the Pro 3, with different levels of pressure sensitivity. It still feels like Windows itself isn't well equipped to use a pen naturally, but apps like OneNote make really good use of it. With a full version of Windows 8.1 powering the Surface 3, you can now run apps like Chrome, iTunes, and Photoshop. If you want to get work done in Office or in some of the millions of traditional Windows apps, you can. It's effectively a smaller version of the Surface Pro 3, only without nearly as much power. Microsoft has opted for an Intel Atom processor, and while it's actually fast enough for most basic tasks, I did notice some lag here and there, especially when you multitask with a lot of apps. But if you think of this as a basic laptop or a Chromebook, then it copes well enough with web browsing, editing Office documents, and playing some mobile games. But if you're looking to do video editing or anything really more powerful than just the basics, you should look elsewhere. Battery life is around 7 hours in our own tests, so if you start work at 9 a.m., that would just squeak out a working day. That's probably enough for most people, but the addition of a micro USB charging port means you can use your phone charger to top up the Surface 3. The micro USB also doubles as a standard USB port if you buy an adapter. Like the Surface before it, there's also a full-size USB and a mini DisplayPort for connecting up a monitor. If you're not happy with the 64GB or 128GB storage options, there's also a micro SD card slot to expand on them. Should you buy the Surface 3? That really depends on how you're going to use it. If you can afford it, you should probably just get the Surface Pro 3. It has more power. Or honestly, just buy a laptop. But if you're looking for a combined device with a touchscreen, stylus, and a keyboard, then this is one of the best on the market for this price at $499. Just know that there are compromises. The Surface 3 is trying to be a laptop and a tablet, but it doesn't nail either mode really well, and to take advantage of all its features, you're going to need to buy that keyboard and pen separately. Maybe it's time Microsoft just made a Surface laptop. At the end of the day, it seems like that's what it really wants to be.